Alejandro Anastasio started his Aikido training in 1996. In 2001, he founded Three Shapes Aikido, Three Shapes Aikido in Boise, Idaho. While living in his dojo, he taught a full-time schedule for children, teens, and adults for 10 years. Alejandro has spent a great amount of time traveling within the United States to develop, enhance, and deepen his understanding and training in Aikido. His approach and perspective of Aikido is based on his experiences living his entire life with one hand. He currently holds the rank of 4th degree black belt.
All right, thank you so much, Sensei. I appreciate the opportunity to offer and share a little bit of Aikido with everyone today. Is everyone listening, getting good volume from me?
Yes.
A little thumbs up. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. And we'll just get started. So I also want to thank Karen Sensei for her class today, Good Movement of Energy, and I love standing practice. I think it's very beneficial. For me, Aikido is many things, many things. Mostly it's transformative, not only internally, but how I relate with other people and my world. And I also like to say that I find Aikido to be incredibly enjoyable and fun. It keeps me healthy. So there's many good benefits to Aikido other than just the martial aspects. So why don't we just go ahead and get started? At some point shortly, we're going to need a jo. So, or any long stick-like object, but you don't need it right now, but if you have one, that's great. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to get low. Let's everybody get to the ground. And we'll just do a little Koho Tendo Undo, some rocking backwards and forwards. Okay, find your favorite spot. Just rock back, come forward. Okay, and just keep that going a little bit. Good, next time up, stretch forward. Stretch forward. Good. I find this to be one of the foundational practices of Aikido, how well we rock backwards and forwards. Good, rock back, switch. Stretching. Good, and then keep it going. Just let's get a little more motion right now. Okay, and then one leg up. So we have this stance, elbows in between your knees, rock back. Okay, and two more. And one more. Good, now we're going to come up into kneeling. So rock back, next progression, all the way up into kneeling, extend forward. If you can, come up live toe and back. Get that to work. Good. Extending. And one more. Good. Okay, and then just a couple into standing. So rock back. And stand. Okay, and then we're going to come down live toe. Rock back. Stand. Okay, root. And two more. And one more. Good, okay, stay standing. Okay, let's work on two-step a little bit, just to warm up some more. Get some foot action in there. Okay, just however it is you two-step, just enjoy the motion for a moment. Move at your own pace. Okay. Couple more. Okay, yame. Okay, for the two-step practice, this will be kind of the last little bit of warm-up we do before we move into some Joe. I find the two-step to be, again, like I said, a very foundational practice. And the quality of our basic movement, in the long run, is going to dictate the quality of our advanced movement. So I really enjoy focusing on basic movements and trying to refine those. And one thing I like to offer is that we want to think about jumping downward, right? I know it's might be a strange concept to think about, but I see people two-step, they kind of pirouette, they jump up. Okay, we want to think a little more about jumping downward, right? So I'm moving downward into the ground so I can root. So I have this quality of moving into the earth a little bit, down, jumping down. That way I'm rooted. Okay, try a couple more. Try a few more. Think about jumping downward. The gallery view. Good. Yeah, just enjoy the movement. Okay, yame. Good, good, good. Okay, everybody grab a Joe if you have a weapon. Okay, the Joe. The Joe is actually my favorite weapon. And what I think it's great about that is that it's a very left-handed, two-handed weapon. So our basic stance is typically left-handed, Joe no Kamae. You know, it's turning side to side. And as a one-handed individual, for whatever reason, I just gravitate towards it. And I think there's a lot of aspects. One of the things that I focus on a lot is connection. Because I cannot grab with my left side, I have to intuitively understand what it means to connect to other people, especially when I'm doing certain types of techniques on this side. Sankyo, Shio-nage, things of that nature. And the Joe really amplifies that. So there's a few practices that I want to do with the Joe. Okay, and one very basic one is just to move it through your fingers in this manner and try to see how long you can keep it going. Okay? Yeah, it's really good for the fingers, right? And then your angle is going to make a difference. So usually I have it pointed up a little bit, okay? It's real dry in Idaho, so I need a little. All right, this is just a great practice. Great. And if you fumbled the Joe, that's okay. It's always tough when you're in a house or like you're near your computer with your weapon. Good. Okay, and then for all my two-handed friends out there, try the other side. Try the other side, right? Usually I'm just working this. Okay, so try to do both hands. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Good. All right. Good. Okay, yame, yame. Great. Okay, so this other practice, we're going to move into a little more movement with the Joe in a moment. Okay. But like I said, you know, since I don't have two hands, how I manipulate the weapon in what I consider my short side, right, it has a different quality. It's really based in connection, how well I connect to the weapon and how well I connect to the weight of the weapon, which I think most of us do in Aikido, but I don't know how much contemplation we put into that or certain qualities of connection. But as a one-handed guy, I have to spend an incredible amount of time figuring out how I'm going to do things. Like earlier in class, the earlier class, Karen Sensei said, we tend to do things a certain way. And then simply by default, I cannot do those certain things a certain way. I don't have two hands, so all my techniques look a little different. All my techniques look a little different, which is great because it keeps me kind of fresh, right? So what we want to do with this is, okay, So typically we're holding our weapon like, standard ski kamai, boom, this kind of thing, okay? So just from holding the weapon in back, you have your hand on this side. What we're gonna try to do is bring your parts together, the ends of your body, and we're gonna turn the weapon over, but not let go of it at all, okay? So I'm just halfway, right? And then I'm gonna turn it over. This is all energy, all connection. Okay? All right, and at no time, yeah, try not to let your weapon go. I see sometimes a lot of people do this. They turn the weapon over, they're grabbing it. Just stay connected to your weapon. Okay? Good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to get in ski kamai. Then you're going to ski. Everyone's going to slide forward and ski. And then you're going to pivot, turn the weapon over, slide forward and ski. Don't be in a hurry. Focus mostly on keeping connection with your weapon. Okay, let me get a view in here. Okay, good. Okay, yame. Let's do a little bit of refinement here. Okay, so of course we're doing this part with our hands, where you guys are, right? We're turning this over. This is actually the critical part of the practice. Okay, how well we maintain our connection. Okay, and then the other part of our practice is the quality of our pivot. Okay, you see people pivot a lot of different ways. You know, some people pick up their feet. You see the ball of the feet pivot. You see a heel toe. But what we want to work on is when I turn my weapon over to here, I've made the pivot and it comes down. Okay, so it's a timing, right? It's unity of body, hands and feet. And thrust. Turn it over, thrust. Okay, good. Yame. Yame. We'll work a little more on that in a moment. So, living in Idaho, there's a dearth of Aikido out here, meaning there isn't really that much. So I've spent a lot of time traveling. I did a lot of training in the Awama crew, and they do a lot of weapons training. So this is the beginning of a hapogiri, 8 directional movements with a jo, which I think is fantastic. Okay, so we'll get back to that in a minute. What I want to work on a little bit is the quality of connection we have with our weapon. Okay, right? And then this practice helps with that. So we really understand the center of our weapon and how heavy our weapon is and how we can manipulate it well in one hand. Okay, so another one is this. Okay, I really enjoy this practice. Okay, I'm going to hold my weapon a little above center. Okay, and then I'm going to take the bottom part and I'm going to turn it over as far as I can go. Okay, and then I'm going to let gravity let it roll over my hand. And my goal is that I'm not letting go of the weapon and just catching it like this. What I want to do is turn it over, and can I maintain connection with my weapon the entire time, right? So slow is better. Right? You can't be in a hurry doing this. You really want to try to make it as slow as possible. It's really understanding balance and connection. Right? Sometimes we can cheat, like going fast almost makes things too easy. Right? The question is how slow can you turn your weapon over and maintain connection? And please, please don't do any damage in your home or to your computer or your dojo. Good. Ah, excellent. Okay. Steve, you got nice flow there. That's good. Okay, and then if you can, try both hands. So typically, sometimes I'm just working this with my short side. Right, and always trying to maintain connection. At no point do I want to let the weapon go. Just slow. So sometimes I'll spend a few minutes before practice just working this slower motion with my weapon. Okay, yame. So those are a couple practices you can work on. Another very simple one that I like to do is grabbing the weapon in one side and then catching it in my short side, which is basically catching with balance, okay? And then going back to this side. This side I can grab. So with one hand you're grabbing, the other hand is open. And I'm just going like this, and then just trying to catch it. I'm kneeling right now, so I don't have as much playroom. Just letting it balance, and then catching on the other side. Okay, basically just connecting with the weapon. Okay, you can do it a little shorter. You can just go side to side, quick. Okay. Yeah, you're not catching on both sides. One hand is always open. Other hand is, oh, sorry. Yeah, one hand is open, other hand is catching. So open hand, catching hand. Yep, you have to receive and go. Sometimes I explain to my students that Aikido is like catching a basketball and passing in one motion. So you receive a punch and then you redirect that energy. So yeah, you can catch on one side, but the other hand is open. And then you're just going back and forth. Okay? Yame, 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 yame. And then as Lisa Tomoloni Sensei said, any questions you can ask at any time. And if there's no questions, that's just fine too. Okay, so this next practice is just it's a little more complicated, but not much more. Okay, so I'm catching on this side, and then I'm catching on this side. I'm gonna catch, and then I'm gonna come under and try to balance on top. So again, one hand is open, the other hand catches. Oh, almost lost my computer. And then my goal is to try to get the perfect catch on my short side. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to stop. Okay, Yame. The best catch ever. I actually enjoy not having two hands. That might seem like a strange concept, but it keeps me creative and I do get 50% off all manicures. Okay, not bad. I know it's Sunday morning. You guys are a light crowd. That's good. That's good. Okay, so let's go back to that Hapo-giri. These are just exercises for connection. You know, as a one-handed guy, connection is so important in Aikido for me, okay? So, and that's gonna help this practice right here when we're turning our weapon over.
Alejandro Sensei.
Hi.
There's a question. Do we
Okay.
keep our eyes on the weapon for these exercises?
No, not necessarily. I think, you know, you can experiment with eyes, you can experiment without eyes. You know, I think if you're keeping your eyes closed, you're working the force, right? So for all you Jedis out there, I think both are fine. Both are fine. There isn't one way or another. Some is with eyes closed, you're just feeling more, which I think is very important. So however you want to experiment, great with me. Okay. So yeah, we're back to this practice now. Okay, where we're thrusting, weapons turning over, thrusting, weapons turning over, thrusting. Okay. Okay, now we're going to work a little footwork here. So I'm gonna show you guys my feet. I was experimenting with this earlier. Ta-da! Okay, so you know we have our basic pivots. You know what I think a lot of people do: heel, heel. Sometimes I do like ball of the foot, heel. Okay, and then classic Awama, how I was trained initially was to pick up your feet and pivot. Okay, but we're going to do 4 directions. So I'm going to go this way, right? Then I'm going to pivot. I'm going to do 180, and then I'm going to go this way. Okay, the third maneuver is my front foot is going to step around, and I'm going to go perpendicular to this foot, and then pivot. Okay, so if I change my direction, slide and pivot. Okay, slide. And then this foot's going to go like this. And that's going to turn out. And I'm going to slide and pivot, slide, pivot, slide. Did that make sense to people? It's hard to show on a video. Okay. So with weapon, we're just going to the 4 sides. Let me see if I can get my feet more in there. With weapon, I'm going to squat a little bit. Okay, slide and thrust. Okay, and then keeping connection with your weapon, pivot, slide and thrust. Okay, then as I turn my weapon over, my front foot is going to step perpendicular to my other foot. And then I'm going this way and then this way. So basically it's front, back, side, side. Let me see. Okay, okay, good. Karen's got that flow. Okay, good. All right. I think everyone looks pretty good at that. Any questions about that footwork and Joe movement? It's a little tricky. It's not as simple as Hapo-giri with a Ken, you know, because it just makes sense which directions to step. There's 2 very difficult steps in Hapo-giri with a Joe, and that first one is one of them. Okay, and then I think it's very important in this practice to just move slow. Okay, focus on the connection that you have with your Joe. That's basically what we're doing. Okay, how well you can maintain, I like to call it energy connection, whatever that means to anyone, right? I'm a big Star Wars fan, so everything with me is about the Force, right? Thrusting, connecting, you know. And then working your footwork. Okay, so let's just try a series of those together. Okay, and you can start in ski kamae. Let me see if I can back up enough. Okay, and we slide and thrust, pivot, slide and thrust. Okay, long pivot, and then back to the front. Okay, if I go to the front, Okay, I'm going to slide and thrust, pivot, slide and thrust. And then I'm going to the side back wall this way. Slide and thrust, slide and thrust. Thrusting on my short side is tough. Okay, so if I'm this direction, slide and thrust, pivot, slide and thrust. Okay, now I'm going to work to face you. Slide and thrust, slide and thrust. Okay, and then one more for good measure. We'll get more feet in there. It's all about the footwork in martial arts. So one, pivot, and I'm going this way. And then that way. Okay. Oh, good. All right. Excellent.
May I ask you really quickly,
Yes.
Sensei, if we put it directionally, I just want to be sure I've seen what I'm doing. If we went east, west, then we'd be north, south.
How about if we go north, south, east, west?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. If you give me directions and you tell me to turn north, I struggle a little bit. I'd rather have a landmark. But yeah, if you move north first and then south, the next turn is going to be to the east. So that's like, 240 degrees. I mean, it's a big turn.
Yeah.
It's a big turn. And then you go back to the other wall. Okay. Every other is pretty good. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. And then maybe in a future session, I'll work on the next 4. Hoppo is 8 directional cutting. Okay. And then there's a huge turn in there that if your knees aren't in good shape or, your hips are a little tight, it can be tough to make that big turn because basically you're turning to the furthest corner, which is more than, 280 degrees. It's a big, long turn. And then the rest of them make sense. So, we're getting ready to close out. I don't want to push time too much. Okay. So let's all come together for a moment. Let's all come together for a moment. And just relax. You can do a standing, you can do a sitting. We just have about 1.5 minutes left. I want to, again, extend my gratitude to Tomaloni Sensei for just supporting our Aikido here in Idaho and giving me the opportunity to teach. And I was very grateful that she offered some condolences for Patty Satomi Sensei. I spent a number of years, many years actually, in ASU, and I've been out to Satomi Sensei's house in Florida, and I spent some time with Patty Sensei and did many trainings in Montana, which is a 9-hour drive, which is kind of a short drive in Idaho. So I'm real grateful for that, Sensei. Thank you so much. So how about in this, just this last 45 seconds, you can stand or kneel, but we'll just sit quietly for a moment. Okay? So just relax body. Any way that you are is fine. Take a deep breath. Right now, there's nothing to know and nothing to do. Just breathe and relax. Okay, take one deep breath. Good, exhale. Okay. Domo, arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
One question.
Of course, Sensei.
This exercise can be practiced with attack and also with guards. For example, Tai no Henka.
What do you mean by the question? Oh, like with the weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just simply a foundational practice. Whatever you want to incorporate with it that will help deepen or enhance your practice is great. You can do it with partners. You want to have an attacker. All that's primo. Primo. Okay.
Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or you can ask it in chat. We're getting some thank yous. Thank you very much. You've given me some great exercises. Any other questions? I have a question for you.
Yes, Sensei.
I know that you're quite involved with the Dzogchen practice,
I am. Yes, I'm very
which is
Buddhist.
a type of Tibetan meditation. And I'm wondering how much that affects your Aikido.
Well, you know, at a very deep level, very much, because Buddhism is really a practice in compassion. And then if you read a lot of what O-sensei says, there's so much based in the compassion that we have for our attacker. So for me, Buddhism or Dharma is Aikido in motion. Dharma in motion is Aikido, because in essence, I have to physically practice compassion. Physically. I mean, you know, in the dojo, it's a little easier because, you know, I know when you're attacking me, you're not actually out to get me. But in conversation, sometimes, you know, with my boss or whatever, people are very aggressive. And when we can extend the kind of the generosity and compassion, sincerely extend that to other people, all it does is enhance our Aikido. You know, for me, Aikido is Dharma in motion. It's a tactical practice in compassion. Every time you grab, you know, if you're real sensitive, somebody grabs you, you know if they're upset with you or they have some attitude towards you, or, I mean, you even know that with your sweethearts. Right? So yeah, both of those, my Buddhist practice completely enhances my Aikido practice. But at the same time, my Aikido practice really enhances my Buddhist practice also. This will be really strange for a one-handed guy to say, but they actually go hand in hand. Ba-doom-boom. Okay, all right. Not
Thank
so.
you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking that question.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, well, if we don't.
I just want to say that was a beautiful practice, AlejAndro Sensei.
Oh, thank you.
Really, really nice. And yeah, you know, connection. And I always hate the word, you know, we substituted like for the word handicap, disabled, which I just think is such an awful thing. It's like, I'm really like differently abled or, you know, and I don't know, it's just that we learned so much. And I really also appreciated your focus on the hands, the upper body movement, and then just taking down to the feet. Footwork's so important, and then making that connection. So that was just really, really beautiful.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, disability, missability.
Yeah.
It's a thing. You know, I was born like this. It's all I know. I got to make it work. I got to make it work. And then I think it's a benefit. I can offer some cool things to people. So just a different perspective.
We have another comment.
Okay.
A fellow Buddhist here too. I find Aikido and Buddhism do go hand in hand.
Okay, Belinda. Yeah, thank you. Good. We'll have to chat more. Yeah, they're great practices. But I think any practice that brings you closer to being kind will support your Aikido, whatever that is,
Yeah, this is Belinda. Thank you. I don't have a good lighting here, so I'm not sure. Well, maybe I'll try my face. But one thing I do find a little, so I do find them go really hand in hand. But when we practice weapons, though, there's some moves that are really supposed to strike and kill, and I find it a little strange to do that.
Well, it is a martial art. So I think at that point is a focus on intention. You know, that intention is to grow and learn, not necessarily to do harm on another person.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think those we have to kind of work out in our head, Belinda. But it's a real good question. It's a real good question. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Yes.
might I mention the 60 tips for everybody, how they can access them?
Of course.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm waking up here, so yeah. Anyways, yesterday we did a special seminar, we being the Aikido solstice seminars. And it was called 60 Tips in 60 Minutes. And so what we did was to create a film that's about 60 minutes, and it has a number, I think 10 or over in 10 categories, about 15 different instructors altogether, but provided 6 tips in 10 different categories. For example, virtual classes or kids classes, self-care, Aikido fitness, dojo building, community building, a lot of them. And so the event was yesterday live, but the film is there. And we've also put it into the new Aikido University, which is just launching. So everybody really should be aware of Aikido University. There's a wealth of courses that are just starting to be put together and then will be offered, and that other people, it's very open for people to put courses together. So, but anyways, it will be available there. And the course at Aikido University costs $25. And we had a suggested donation yesterday of $25. Some people, can't pay that. There are some people maybe who can't pay anything. That's okay too. But if you're interested, I can make that available to you. And I can give you an email now, or I can also post on the Shimbokukai Facebook page, and just really message me and I'll find a way for you, donation or by donation preferably, but not donation as well, for you to be able to access that Aikido University course and all the information, because the tips are really designed and meant to be useful to help people right now during this difficult period.
Would you please put it on the Shimbokukai group? And also if you want to put it in the chat here for everybody.
Yeah, I'll put an email here, and then I'll also post it. Okay.
Great.
And people are welcome to add to the tips. We want those 60 tips to turn into 160, 260. A lot of people have a lot of tips.
Another thing I would like to ask is if anybody has ongoing Zoom classes at their dojo. I have a page on the Shimbokukai website to list those. So email me the information, aikidoshinbokukai@gmail.com, and I'll get that on the website too. And even if you're not, we have people here today that are regular members of Shimbokukai. We have people here today that are supporting members of Shimbokukai, and we have people here today that aren't members of Shimbokukai. And even if you're a supporting member or a non-member, if you have some Zoom classes at your dojo, please feel free to email them to me, and we're very happy to put our friends' Zoom classes on our site too. And that just gives, whoever takes a look at the site, it gives them a place where there's lots of Zoom classes. And if you're having Zoom events, also send them to me, and I will make a separate place to put events, like 1 day or 2 day events. But I'd like to populate that more with information. So please don't be shy about sending that stuff to me, aikidoshinbokukai@gmail.com. So, and lots of comments. Thank you. Excellent. Loved it. Hope to meet you in person someday. Lots of good exercises to practice with the Joe. So thank you very much. Anybody, any last thing? And then we'll sign out.
Thank you, senseis.
Well, thank you. I want to thank you all for making the time to come here. I know some of it is, the time is early or really, really late for some people. So I really want to thank everybody for having the interest and making the effort to be here, not only for your own benefit, but to support the people who are leading the classes. I've asked people through the end of the year to lead classes, and it ranges everywhere from first Q up to 7th Dan. So one of the other things is to give people of all rank levels an opportunity to get up in front of people and share. And we have a few of people who are going to be teaching, going to be leading classes down the road, Jamie Zimran Sensei, and who else is here? I know Craig's here, Dolly, Jude Blitz, Craig Rice. I'm looking down the participants list here. And yeah, so a few of the people who are going to be leading classes down the road, we have it planned out for the rest of this year. There's some of them are here to support each other, and I think that's wonderful too. And everybody that's here, I'm just really glad to see all of you, and I'm really appreciative of all of you, because nobody does Aikido by themselves. Nobody does much of anything in the world by themselves, frankly. It's all about connection. It's all about community. And as I said at the beginning, we have to think outside the box right now, how we're going to keep connection and keep community strong as we get through this pandemic, because we want Aikido to be vibrant and present when this is over, whenever that may be. So we can't rely on what we've done before the pandemic. We have to think outside of the box. We have to be creative. We have to think of ways to engage people and community. We have to think of ways to be inclusive of various populations that maybe we haven't thought about including before, but we should. Now, there was a section on inclusivity at the 60 Tips in 60 Minutes seminar yesterday. And we really need to think, we need to put ourselves out there, extend ourselves, extend our feeling, and really make Aikido strong for all of us. So I want to thank you all for coming here today, and we'll see you the second and fourth Sunday of every month, except December. The fourth Sunday is really close to the holidays, so I'm going to add the first Sunday in. So it'll be the first and the second Sunday in December, and that way we'll have our full complement of classes. So
Great.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the teachers, to the presenters, and thank you to everybody.
Yes, thank you,
being
Lisa,
here.
All
Sensei.
right, thank you.
And we'll see you soon, okay? Thank you very much.